Hi, I'm Sara and welcome to Hen Corner. Today we are making Italian beef meatballs served with spaghetti. And this is lovely, it's so worth the while making the meatballs separately. And these are the ingredients we're going to use today. So first of all, we've got some minced beef, and this is from my friend's farm, South Yeo Valley East. And we're looking forward to trying her lovely meat, her lovely beef. So we've got minced beef, we've got a bread roll. We want some breadcrumbs because that helps to soak up all the flavours that we're going to have in the meatballs, and it just helps, it bulks it out a bit, but it helps the meatballs to stay together. We're also going to put some onion in the meatballs along with salt and pepper and an egg to bind it together. So that's frying meatballs, and then we're going to make a lovely sauce. We're going to have onions and garlic and some homegrown basil in the sauce with tomatoes. We're going to be seasoning with salt and pepper, and then we've got our spaghetti to serve it with later on. So we're going to get cracking. I'm going to start off first of all by grating the bread roll because I want to make some breadcrumbs. Now I could do it in the dishwasher. I could do it in the mixer, the food processor, that's the word I'm looking for. But then it's getting it all out of the cupboard, and then it's a case of washing it all up. So actually just getting some bread on a grater and it will grate up into breadcrumbs nice and easily. We're going to use the grater as well for the onion, so nice and easy. Doesn't have to be a bread roll, that's just what I had available and just the right sort of size amount of bread. You could have a couple of slices of bread. Probably want bread that's not too fresh, maybe a day or two old, and it's a bit firmer. And we'll get that grated up in no time, and that will be the start of us making our meatballs. So that's our breadcrumbs. We're going to grate some onion into it now. There we go. Wow, that's a bit, bit juicy on the eyes, but by grating the onion, it's nice and fine. So we've got a nice fine texture to the meatballs, so they can be extra juicy. Super, just give my hands a quick wipe, and then it's salt and pepper. The egg. Now I'm going to put a packet of mince in. And just before I get my fingers into this, I'm going to turn the heat on under the frying pans, and I'm going to put a bit of oil in there, ready to fry. So get squidging. When I told my family I was making these for supper, they said, "Oh, are they going to be little meatballs or big meatballs?" And it's entirely up to you. I'm probably going to go for, well, I'm going to say medium size. Everything could be smaller, everything could be bigger. But I'm going to go for nice, maybe 2 bites in a meatball. And then it's easy to eat your dinner with a fork. But squidging through the mixture, we've got our meat, our breadcrumbs, our seasoning, the salt and pepper. We've got the egg. We've got the onion, and whoa, it's coming together nicely. Excellent. So, little balls, and it's important that we fry these off to start with, so that they're sealed all the way round before we put them into the sauce. Otherwise, they'll fall apart in the sauce. Now you don't want to overload your frying pan. I've gone for a nice round, good sized diameter of my frying pan so that I can get quite a few in at once. Let's see how many meatballs we can get out of this one packet of mince. And you want to make sure that the meatballs are not touching each other, because we want to be able to rotate them and turn them around to make sure that every angle of the meatball is cooked. So I think my pan is pretty much as full as it's going to get. Maybe when they shrink down a bit, there will be space for a couple more. Turning them all over so they can brown all the way around. So the meatballs that are cooked are out on a plate, and we're going to start preparing the vegetables for the lovely tomato sauce. So chopped onion, garlic, salt and pepper, tin tomato, basil, beautiful. Wonderful. So a little bit more oil, then the onions can go in. Now, how many cloves of garlic? 4, I think. 5, they weren't too big. Lovely. So that's the onion and the garlic, and it's picked up some of the crispy bits of beef that were left in the pan. That's not a bad thing. Pepper. Salt. Now I'm going to put in the tin tomatoes. And I'm going to rinse out the tin with some water. I'm going to roughly chop the basil and add this to the sauce. And the flavour can infuse all the way through. Beautiful. I'm going to let this come to a simmer, and then when it's all cooked through and starting to reduce a bit, some of that extra water, I want it to reduce down, then I'm going to add the meatballs back in to warm them through, ensure they're cooked through. So whilst this is cooking, I'm going to get the kettle on to cook the spaghetti. The spaghetti is cooking, our sauce is reduced down and starting to thicken, and it's time to put the meatballs back into the tomato sauce. I'm going to turn them over in the sauce so they're all evenly coated and submerged in the tomato. Now, you're welcome to add extra things to your sauce when you're making it. Some chili flakes would be nice. Some wine would be nice. Bit of tomato puree, bit of sugar if you need to. If you want it a bit sweeter. Yeah, just see what you've got in the fridge. Add things to your sauce. What's a great way of getting some extra vegetables into your dinner is to grate some carrots. And they could have gone in the meatballs, or they could have gone in the sauce. So actually you could have had many, many more meatballs by adding carrots or grated courgettes in with your minced beef and your breadcrumbs and seasoning. And then you would have got so many more meatballs, and you'd have got an extra portion of vegetables with your lunch or your supper. Okay, they're simmering down nicely. We just need to wait for the spaghetti to cook. And by then the meatballs will be nice and warm. We want it all piping hot. And then all we need to serve is a grating of Parmesan cheese and maybe some more black pepper on top. Here we go. Our spaghetti is cooked and drained, and meatballs are lovely and warm in the rich tomato sauce. And it's time to plate up this lovely family supper. Oh my goodness, you can't see me with all the steam. Here we go, a nice serving of spaghetti. Woo, it's very wibbly wobbly, isn't it? And then let's go for 4 or 5 meatballs each. Ooh. Ooh. There you go, bit of sauce down the bottom. All we need to do now is some Parmesan cheese, some more black pepper, just because I love it. And we have got a fabulous supper of Italian beef meatballs served with spaghetti. So, have a go. Whoa, this steam. Have a go and let me know how you get on. I'd love to know whether you cook this. If you do your recipe any different, leave us a comment. Let us know your favourites, and we hope to see you next time.